Hi, folks. This is Dennis Boren, criminal defense attorney and former felony prosecutor. I want to talk to you today about Miranda warnings. Now, I would venture to say that all of us have seen and heard these given probably thousands of times on television and in movies. It stems from a U.S. Supreme Court case of Miranda versus Arizona, which happened in 1964, but the Supreme Court ruled on it in 1966. And these warnings are sort of in the DNA of criminal justice. You have to be warned of these rights if you're in custody and you're being interrogated. And I'm going to talk to you a little more about that in a second. But what are they? One, you have a right to remain silent. You don't have to say anything when questioned by a police officer. You have a right to an attorney being present with you during questioning. That's your Fifth Amendment right to counsel. You have the right to have an attorney provided for you in the event there's, and you can't afford it, in the event that there's a possible jail time or prison time involved. So that's everything above a Class C misdemeanor. And you have to be told that anything you say can be used against you. So it could hurt you. What you're saying could damage your defenses. Now, it doesn't apply in every situation. If you're not in custody, it doesn't apply. Now, what's in custody mean? Well, quite simply, it just means that you're not free to leave. And if you're not sure if you're free to leave or not, just simply ask the police officer, am I free to leave? And if you're not, then these rights are going to apply. Now, it's a reasonable standard, a reasonable person standard that has to do with what would a reasonable person feel or believe is the facts that's situated in your circumstance. And that's sometimes it's a little bit murky whether or not you were in custody. It does not apply to preliminary or kind of perfunctory questions like, where are you going? Have you been drinking? They can ask that. What's your hair color? Anything like that. It doesn't apply. Now, of course, you don't have to answer those questions either, but they're not going to be excluded should you be arrested later and they try to use them against you. Also, answers that are what's called sua sponte, which is Latin for of your own will. That means you do it on your own. You blurt out an answer. Or the police officers are talking amongst themselves and you correct them and you say, I wasn't drinking, I didn't have 10 beers, I had 7. If they didn't ask you the question, your answers are still subject to being used against you. Now, it's not a get out of jail free card. And what I mean by that is if the police officer didn't give you a Miranda warnings, that doesn't mean that you've won. Because if they're not questioning you and you're not in custody, that is, you're not free to leave, you're not, they don't need to warn you. It's only for custodial interrogation. If you decide to talk, by the way, and then you decide that you don't want to talk anymore, you can do that. These rights are not permanently waived. And another thing, you don't have these rights just at arrest. You have them all the time. So if you ever don't want to talk to a police officer, you don't have to. And in Texas, you don't even have to identify yourself. And of course, if it's a traffic stop, you're going to end up doing that by presenting your driver's license because they can require that. So you don't have less rights before you're in custody. You have the same rights. And lastly, there's really a silver bullet here. If you're approached by a police officer and they start questioning you, turn on your smartphone app, turn your video app or at least your audio app on, and say, I don't want to talk to you anymore or if and unless I have my attorney or lawyer or legal counsel, you can say it any which way you want. I want them with me. Once you've done that, everything that follows would not be admissible. So I know it's a little bit of a murky subject sometimes, but I hope this cleared up some of your thoughts about what the Miranda warnings are and how they apply to you. I hope this was helpful.